Joining us in the studio. Charles, how you doing, man?
Very good. It's a pleasure being here in 8:80 a.m. and thank you for the invitation. And I know you're beginning to build up quite an audience out there. No, this is amazing. I wasn't going to engage in name calling. It's really funny. I think the name of the bridge should have been called Greed. But I did some preliminary investigation, and the first thing I
By
did.
the way, let me just share something with you. And Charles, Charles is a private investigator,
and a good one.
And well, why don't you share a little bit about that, because
Charles and I have worked together. Charles Del Campo is a private investigator, which I met. Charlie, how many years ago will we meet now?
More than about 15 or so.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I met Charlie years ago when he came to me with what I thought was some half-baked conspiracy. I was like, this guy's nuts. Whatever, I'll entertain him. Let me listen to him. And it was big. It was big. It was a big case.
We got the client off.
We did. We ended up going to the Secret Service. Nobody would listen.
Oh, Lord.
And Charlie did his job really well, which he always does very well. He gets information. I don't even want to know how he gets it, but all I know is that Charlie can get information that nobody else can ever get. He finds people that nobody can find. He finds things that nobody else knows. He gets it all. So we went and that's when I really realized the value that Charlie has as an investigator, because Charlie is not only intelligent, Charlie is relentless. He's relentless. He will not stop. He will call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. He will call me at all hours of the day. He will tell me, I'm going to go find it. And I'm like, how did you find this out? He's like, you don't want to know. And I'm like, I don't. I went to this. I went to that office. I spoke to so-and-so. I spoke to so-and-so's friend who has a girlfriend who knows a guy that knew a guy.
Let's get to Charlie.
It's amazing.
Let's get to Charlie.
He is.
Well, beforehand, and thank you for the introduction. Yeah, me and Ed has worked on many cases, and to this day we have 100% return of results, because I tell my clients we only guarantee this, and I know Ed. He's known as the bull when he worked for the state attorney's office. Nonetheless, I'm also a renowned author. Have several books out there, and I'm also an independent investigative journalist for CNN. I report. I have to, whenever I get involved in any of these conspiracy theories, I have to authenticate and verify the information in order to avoid potential liabilities, which coincidentally, every time I do something of this nature, Ed turns out representing me, because the state of Florida has removed my licenses as a result of the political campaigns and investigations that I've done to that level. Nonetheless, he mentions to me on your program that you were looking into this, and I said, no, I don't want to get involved in that. It could be too touchy, but I did nonetheless, and I reached out to a contractor who had actually been indicted as a result with government contracts here in Dade County, doing similar projects of this nature. He served a 10-year stretch, so he became a confidential informant. And then I went to a secondary resource to authenticate and verify his information, and he panned out. Now, this is common sense. The first thing you have to think is the following. That bridge doesn't cost more than $4 million. So what happens to the rest of the money? Number one. Number two, if I was able to acquire a video that is not on YouTube and available from the camp of a Florida Highway Patrol, in which I sent it to Ed to look into, and you can see as he's approaching the bridge, by coincidence, you can see the bridge falling, in which there is a crane holding a stress factor at the end of the location.
Well,
What
one
happened?
of the temporary standards was supposed to be.
Right.
By
Now,
the way, what did the bridge cost?
It cost
14 million.
Almost $15 million.
So somebody made 8 or 10.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
let me tell you what they did. And
All
as a
the-
result of the greed, which you were previously mentioning with the story of
All
the
the
shrimp.
prostitutes in Florida.
Absolutely.
No, because I mean, that's it.
And
That's
just
it.
so
You were saying, which is dramatically important.
There's another issue of a major investigation that I'm actually working with Ed. It involves a judge by the name of Frank Caney from Orlando, which has been taken out of the bench. And apparently, based on my findings and investigation, which I represent one of the defendants, he was sentenced to life. He's been doing 15-year stretch for a crime that he never committed. He was not even there. No,
What was the crime?
murder.
Murder. Capital
Yeah,
murder.
Gilbert Aragon. And I looked into the case because I told the family members.
Capital murder?
Capital murder.
He's doing time.
Yeah.
He was convicted,
Right.
and he's not guilty.
And he's not guilty.
How would that be?
Well, hold on a minute. If you look at innocent project in the United States or throughout the whole nation, there's hundreds of people that have been experiencing this type of victimization of wrongful conviction. This happens to be one that, unfortunately, in Orlando 15 years ago, a very corrupted department and a detective fabricated evidence when there was none. There was no forensic.
He's supposed to have killed who?
He's supposed to kill a drug dealer, you know, in an area, and he wasn't even there. He had an alibi with his fiancée at the time. They could have used the telephone number to triangulate his location. They never did that. They never interviewed the alibi. The judge actually, they fabricated witnesses. The judge actually allowed at the time someone that was in an asylum in Ohio and that was medicated for psychiatric care for a whole bunch of dementia, and that became a witness. That's illegal in itself. Also, they have a jailhouse snitch that never met him, and he was asked by the detective, if you testified against this individual, Gilbert Aragon, you will be let free. And he was. So there's a whole bunch of illegalities in here, and now we're trying to do the criminal defense and getting him out through every means. But I brought it up to the governor, Rick Scott.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel 100% he's innocent?
100%. I did a due diligence beforehand, and I couldn't find one single ounce of guilt.
So and we're going to get Al Gutman in a second. If he's 100% guilty, not guilty, there's somebody 100% guilty.
They know who it is.
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is
Yeah,
it?
no, I found out who it is, and I actually submitted that information
Who
to
is
the
it?
detectives.
Who is
The
it?
case was no cross against him.
There was
What's
no
his
cross
name?
against it. That other guy's name, I
was
cannot.
another guy.
I cannot mention his name now because we'll put him on notice. It might. But this guy has been serving for 15 years, and there's others like him. And when I went to see Rick Scott, I spoke with one of the representatives over there. OIG, Office of Inspector General, was supposed to get involved. They did not. The state of Florida Department of Law Enforcement was supposed to get involved. They did not. I found out there's over 10 other individuals that are serving a life sentence right now in Orlando as a result of this judge. They went so far as to all the legal documentation of Gilbert Aragon, no access whatsoever. When that's supposed to
Where
be,
is he?
they sealed
They
it.
Is he a
sealed those
Stark?
records.
Is he a Stark? Where is he?
No, he's right now in DeSoto jail, serving the 15 years.
Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I
Yeah.
tell you. We're gonna move on those things quickly. I will tell you this.